All right, folks, today we have the 5060 Ti, and we're checking it out in Doom: The Dark Ages. This was actually a request from a comment that I had that wanted to see this particular game at 1440p on this card. And the cool thing is that this has been updated with ray tracing. I have done a little bit of initial testing, and while you can do ray tracing, it will be, you're going to have to give up some stuff, but we're still going to check it out. All right, so this thing comes down. We get a nice little hit to our FPS there, down to 52. This is the low preset, no upscaling, no ray tracing, and no frame generation at all, just straight DLAA at 1440p resolution. Again, this is the 5060 Ti with 16 gigs, which will be very important later on to make sure you have that 16 gig model. You definitely don't want the 8 gig model because we are right there at where we're actually allocating over 8 right now currently, but we're at 7 on the used VRAM, and this again is at the low preset. All right, so let's just come through here. I'm going to jump over to the medium preset just to make sure that we can cover it before things get way too crazy. And I'm going to drop in some DLSS later on once we work our way up to that Ultra Nightmare. We'll need some DLSS at that point, but at the very least, it does run pretty well without any sort of help at these lower presets. Go ahead and take care of this dude. He's pretty easy. I have a decent weapon, so that's pretty good. All right, so with all this going on, let's just jump over to that next preset. As you can see, we're at 45 FPS, and we're just going to see what all we can do as far as how far we can kind of take this thing. So it's going to be the high preset. Go ahead and apply that. And again, let's just go through it. 43 FPS. There's not a lot of difference between some of these presets. They tend to be pretty small increments, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it does make for quite a few options whenever you're looking at how to run a game. Let's go here and see if I need this. Yes, I do. All right, so let's just keep going. All right, so we can see 43 FPS, got these stairs, turn around. We're going to go through this corridor up here. I played this a few times if you can't tell. So yeah, let's go through here and turn around. All right. 62 in this small area, that kind of makes sense. Now this area is just a little thing drops down, gives you a weapon that I've already gotten. In the interest of time, I'm going to try to just skip these little pre-cut areas. Take care of this guy. All right. Bash through this door. Let's see if we need some more armor. We're good on armor, okay. All right, so let's just come over here and go to the next preset. So we are at high. We're going to jump up to ultra. And none of this implements anything like DLSS or anything on its own. So this is a nice, easy game to test. It doesn't do a lot of automatic stuff. So as you go through, you can really tailor your experience pretty well. All right, so we're just drop down here, take care of all these dudes. This is definitely like the most hectic area in this section. So let's reflect that. Get back here, maybe club this dude. Trying to clear out some folks before I start commenting because I tend to get kind of confused with all the chaos going on. All right, so let's just go ahead and go to that next preset. I'm going to scroll down. We are at Ultra. We're going to go to Nightmare and then Ultra Nightmare, and then we're going to implement some DLSS and then see what all we need to do to get a nice smooth experience at the highest possible quality and frame rate that we can get. All right, once I jump through here, I should be able to get that gate open. We kind of have to like clear out all these dudes first. That takes a little while. See, all right, yeah, I don't want to be on fire. Oh, he's napalming me. There we go. This is a pretty like fast-paced game though, so you definitely want to be over 60 if you can. Right here at 40, I can kind of notice a little bit of like, it's just like a little bit harder to like get exactly what you want, especially on mouse and keyboard. All right, let's just jump over here, go to settings, and we're going to check out Ultra Nightmare. Again, no ray tracing, no upscaling, nothing like that, no help at all. This is how it would run kind of, without any of those technologies that we have come to rely on. But I will say that from what I've been able to do so far, you're definitely going to be able to get a nice playable experience with this card at this resolution for sure. All right, so make sure I have all the stuff that I need before I proceed here. All right, let's go through these gates. And we're going to turn on some DLSS. All right, so right now we're at 44 FPS. I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to kick on some quality DLSS and apply that. Again, as you can see, nothing else has changed. We're still at 1440 and we're still at the Ultra Nightmare preset. So we're going to go through here, and right now we're at 68 FPS, and that gives us a nice experience. From here, I would probably say you could easily frame generate and get a nice fluid experience all the way through the game. I've played a lot of this game, and yeah, I tended to play, this was before the ray tracing update, but I tended to play at Ultra Nightmare with 4x frame gen and got some really good results on this card. All right, and that was even at 4K. So, you know, let's just keep on going here. So right now we are looking like 80 FPS. Go ahead and take this dude out. I really like to get the kills so I can get the extra. Yeah, there we go, get the extra ammo. All right, so 74 FPS. Now, this is absolutely where I would probably frame generate from. Because I have tried the ray tracing and it will tank your performance pretty bad. I've tried all of it all the way through. I would really just kind of say that if you want ray tracing, you're going to have to really make some bad concessions that just kind of aren't worth it. I'm just going to show you real quick. This is totally maxed out, and to be honest, maxed out versus, you know, just the simpler ray tracing doesn't really matter. You're at 33, so that brought us from respectable 70s and 80s down to 34. Just not what you want to do. While it does look a little bit better, it's still not like worth the sacrifice of all that performance, in my opinion. So we're just going to run around here and see what it would take to run some of this ray tracing stuff. So right now, the next thing you could probably do is go into settings, and if you really just had to have ray tracing, you could do one of two things. You could bring this up to like a performance setting and see how that looks. So it's going to bring us from 33 to 51, which is much better. And to be honest, it looks really good. You know, you're not going to have any sort of like issues at all running on performance. The upscale looks nice and clean still, and I wouldn't really hesitate to play at this, although you're not at 60. So just kind of bear that in mind. You would probably have to come in here after that and bring down some of your you know, preset. So you would have to come in here and say, okay, let's try. So we were on Ultra Nightmare. It only says custom because of some stuff I've done up there with ray tracing and whatnot. Let's see what the Ultra gives us. So if we bring that preset up to Ultra, that's going to give us not a huge amount of movement. Really, it's 51, 50. So you're starting to sacrifice more than I would be willing to sacrifice just for the sake of having ray tracing turned on. Now you could say, well, I feel pretty good at that, you know, 50-ish area, and come back up here and go back to that Ultra Nightmare. So you could do it this way. So you could say, okay, Ultra Nightmare is fine. That gives me about 50 FPS. That's close enough to 60, and I'm just going to frame generate because right here we have our allocated VRAMs at 10 and our used VRAM is 8.1. So we have plenty of VRAM to do some frame generation. So you could come in here, oops, go back, click the right thing here, go back in here and just say, okay, I'm going to leave it on performance and I'm going to turn on some frame generation. And again, this is a 5060 Ti at 1440, and that's going to give you, you know, 80 FPS here. And to be honest, it still feels really snappy, really smooth. You're at ultra performance, and you're just adding some frame generation to really help out that DLSS setting of performance. And to be honest, this feels really good as well. I really wouldn't hesitate to play at this at all. Let me go ahead and take care of these dudes. Go ahead and get rid of that. And let's see if I can get the E. Get the E. All right. All right. So yeah, at 2x, you're at 76. Now it's just a simple game of math at this point. You know, you can go to 3x. I'm just going to make this pretty quick. So 3x gets you up to 113 FPS. And, you know, of course, the VRAM is going up, but you got plenty of it because you were smart and you bought the 16 gig version of this card, right? That's do not buy the 8 gig. It is just really not a good piece of hardware. I don't even know why they made an 8 gig TI model of this. So anyway, that's my rant for now. Go ahead and wipe out these cult people. All right. And run over here and let's just get this key and then we'll keep going. I'm going to check out the next level, which is 4X. And yeah, we're just going to probably call it at that point because everything looks like it's going to be okay, depending on how you want to run it. You know, I mean, if you really want this ray tracing, you can absolutely do it. But again, it's going to take kind of pulling every lever you can to get that frame rate up high enough and to look good. So yeah, we're looking like, you know, 130 FPS here with our ray tracing set to Ultra Nightmare. On the preset at least. Our ray tracing is maxed out still, and yeah, we're looking really good. This is a good card for this title if you don't mind doing some frame gen. But say you just really wanted a much higher refresh or much higher frame rate and you just wanted to forego the ray tracing altogether, we'll take a look at that. I'll just cut the ray tracing off and then we'll get a number for that and call it a day. All right, so let's jump over here. 1440. Okay, yeah, everything's performance. 4X. Let's come down here and turn off the ray tracing. And let's see what that does. Again, this is still 4X. And that's over 200 FPS. It does feel a lot smoother. I can already tell that base resolution increased a lot. Even though I am frame generating, I can still tell that, you know, it does feel a little bit smoother and better. And yeah, we're just going to come through here, and if you did want to do this, check out the quality, because if you're at 200 FPS, you don't really need to worry too much about the DLSS stuff at the moment, because right now we're running so smooth that, you know, you could probably even make this look a little bit sharper, even though performance does look pretty good. Golly, these dudes are just everywhere. Come on, get out of my face, man. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's just check that out just to see what it looks like. So performance, jump up to quality, turn that on. So this is quality DLSS, 4X, Ultra Nightmare, no ray tracing, and you're at 175 FPS at 1440. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up. If you like this kind of stuff, you know, please consider subscribing if you got some value out of it. I hope you did. And if anybody else has a particular title they want to see with a particular card at a certain resolution, you know, don't hesitate to ask, because as you can see, I will listen and I will do them. I'll get to them eventually. You know, have a lot planned. So as you can see, I have close to 100 videos now. I think this would be my 91st video since I started this channel. Pretty crazy. But yeah, let's just wrap it up here, and hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.